Welcome in. Let's just take a collective deep breath, step away from all the noise and the endless distractions of the day, and dive right into this explainer. I really want you to think of our time together today as a spacious, quiet retreat. Kind of a masterclass where we get to explore the true, quiet mechanics of social mastery and presence-driven leadership. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this material, because what we're looking at here, well, it isn't your standard generic networking advice, not even close. We spend years, sometimes literally decades, building our expertise, right? Stacking up degrees and certifications. But the hard truth is, your technical brilliance means almost nothing if you can't connect with the humans around you. True influence? It's not about being the loudest voice in the room or having the most impressive resume on paper. It's actually about possessing the internal authority to connect deeply and authentically with others. Because if you can't read the emotional landscape of the people around you, all that technical brilliance is left completely stranded.
So let's get into our first section today. Section 1, Presence over Performance. This is really the practical arena of emotional intelligence.
We so often talk about emotional intelligence like it's this totally abstract internal concept. But social mastery is where it gets real. It's the practical arena where our emotional intelligence actually lives and breathes. It's your ability to adapt your communication, manage group dynamics, and ethically influence others, all without relying on performative confidence. To develop true mastery, we have to completely throw out that cliché fake it till you make it advice. Seriously, toss it. Instead, we're going to rely on specific, presence-driven mechanics. It's about being deeply grounded in reality, not forcing a fake smile or puffing yourself up into some unnatural posture. Moving right along to Section 2, Authentic Self-Presentation. The internal foundation.
Look, before you can master a room, you've got to master your own internal landscape. Deep internal clarity is the absolute bedrock of an unshakable outward presence. Unfortunately, most people out there are operating socially from a mask. It's transactional, it's highly performative, deeply anxious, and just constantly seeking external validation. And honestly, trying to figure out what mask to wear for every single different person you meet is utterly exhausting. But when you operate from your core identity, you are deeply aligned, you're consistent, you can naturally adapt from a formal boardroom pitch to a super casual dinner, and you never lose who you are. That consistency creates a calm, quiet authority that is just inherently attractive and trustworthy to everyone you meet.
All right, let's look at Section 3, Managing Anxiety in Real Time, Maintaining Internal Authority. Let's just create some real psychological safety here for a second. Even the most grounded, aligned leaders feel nervous sometimes. Anxiety is just a totally normal physiological response. Confident people don't magically bypass nerves. They just use specific mechanical reframing techniques to stay grounded when the stakes are high. So step 1 is what we call the externalization of focus. Instead of analyzing your own performance, worrying about how you sound, or what on earth to do with your hands, deliberately shift your curiosity entirely over to the other person's world. And step 2 is social contribution framing. This is huge. Shift your mindset from seeking validation, like wondering what you can get from an interaction, to asking what you can give. When you start viewing social interactions as a chance to make someone else comfortable or to add value, you fundamentally transform that exhausting pressure of a performance into a really calming act of service.
Which brings us to Section 4, Embodied Confidence and Competence, the external expression.
Your internal alignment naturally wants to express itself physically, right? Embodied confidence is simply taking up appropriate space with a relaxed alertness, steady breathing, and a resonant voice that signals you belong there without any aggressive domination. It is literally never about puffing out your chest and intimidating folks. It's about a grounded posture and a longer, deliberate exhale. When you breathe slowly, just making that exhale a little longer than the inhale, you actually activate your parasympathetic nervous system. And by doing that, you are unconsciously communicating psychological safety to the entire room. You're physically telling everyone else's nervous system, hey, we are safe here. And then, when you do speak, you employ conversational competence. We are moving way beyond surface-level small talk here. It's about using genuine, open-ended curiosity. So instead of the default boring, how are you ask things like, what project is really exciting you right now? And equally important is what psychologists call disclosure reciprocity. This just means you share information about yourself at a similar depth to what the other person just shared. It's like a dance, and it creates this beautifully balanced, aligned exchange where both parties walk away feeling deeply understood and completely safe. Okay, Section 5, stepping into social leadership, elevating the room.
This is the moment your skills transcend just managing your own experience and you start taking active, compassionate responsibility for the emotional tone of the entire interaction. True social leaders, they don't passively sit back and hope for a good conversation. They actively set the emotional tone. They guide stagnant conversations and they facilitate valuable connections. Emotions are incredibly contagious. If the room feels tense, you use your presence to bring calm. If the conversation gets stuck, you guide it gracefully with a thoughtful question. You're using your internal authority not to dominate the space, but to elevate it. You're making sure everyone in that room has a better, more aligned experience just because you were there to facilitate it.
And finally, Section 6, Value-First Relationship Building. Influence through alignment.
We really need to redefine networking. We've got to take it from a cold, transactional chore and turn it into strategic relationship building, driven by a deep abundance mindset. And here is exactly how you execute that value-first approach. You offer genuine value long before you ever ask for a single thing in return. And value comes in so many forms. It could be information, like sharing a crucial industry insight. Connection, meaning you make a vital introduction between two people who can help each other out. Resource, like handing over a helpful tool or template. Support, which sometimes just means actively listening to someone. Or opportunity, like giving someone a heads up about a path for advancement. By understanding what truly drives others emotionally and genuinely caring about their goals, you naturally and ethically influence them. It's an entire approach built on mutual benefit and real, deep alignment.
As we wrap up our time together in this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a thought to just sit with for a moment. Ask yourself, how will you use your internal authority to elevate the next room you enter? You already possess the tools to transform your interactions from performative, exhausting tasks into moments of genuine, aligned connection. Thank you so much for stepping into the lab today to learn and reflect with me. I'll see you in the next explainer.